So the project at hand today is going to be a mousetrap costume for my son. We're going to dress him up as a little mouse, and we're going to build a mousetrap to go on top of the wagon here to pull him around for Halloween. It's the kind of project you get when your wife surfs Pinterest a lot and you enjoy doing a lot of DIY projects. So the supplies you're going to need are a wagon, which I was very fortunate to borrow this one. I'm going to use some PVC pipe and some PVC elbows. I am using a couple of 2x4 sheets of 1/4 inch thick plywood, and I'm going to have a mousetrap for reference. So I'm going to use this little Victor mousetrap. Should be pretty recognizable as my model. And then there's going to be a lot of little paints and finished stuff that I'll be able to put on here afterwards. So just some general arts and crafts stuff. So fortunately Jackson is sleeping, so I can get away with doing a little bit of this project right now. The general plan is to fit the sheet to the top of the wagon, and I'm going to build a trim border to go all the way around the outside to keep it in place. And then we're going to cut a little half circle on one side to obviously have a place for him to stick out. And then we are going to build a little PVC frame that is going to be the Snapshot portion. And I'm going to need to identify something that's going to be my spring material. So I'm going to see what I've got lying around to mimic a spring. And fortunately our costume is going to come with a piece of fake cheese. So I'm not making cheese tonight either, but that'll just be a little prop that we get with the mouse costume. All right, so the goal here is not to overcomplicate any of this. I am literally going to trace the wagon, or get a rough idea of how big this needs to be by laying the wagon right on top. And then we're going to cut this sheet down to size. All right, so I have roughly identified the widest point on this side. I'm going to give myself approximately a 1/2 inch on this side, because my two sides are going to be 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to mark this far side. So no fancy measurements here. I am just eyeballing the width and eyeballing the length and transferring the mark down using a small wooden block that's a 1/2 inch wide, keeping it nice and simple and straightforward. So don't mind the pink hearing protection. I was too lazy to go get mine out of the garage, so I am borrowing my wife's. And then after 2 quick cuts on the table saw, I've got my sheet cut down to size. And here is where I'm feeling particularly lucky with this project. I appear to have enough scrap that I don't need to break down my second sheet. I was expecting to have to put the offcut through the saw to make it the exact same width, but I got kind of lucky here, and it just worked out. So 2 sides cut. I'm gonna do the ends now too while the saw's all set up. After I got the ends prepared, I am making a series of small blocks. That way I can join the 2 corners together with a tiny bit of structure. I got all my pieces cut up. I am going to glue and brad nail this together, but I'm going to take a brief pause because I'm going to order the right length brad nails. I currently have 1.5 inches only, which is going to blow through my blocks, which regardless of the orientation I put them in. So I am just going to order some 3/4 inch brad nails. They will be here tomorrow, which means I can continue this at a more reasonable hour because we are closing in on 10:30, which means this is a project to be continued another evening. Night number 2, I'm back at this project with the right size brad nails. I'm gluing the joints and adding support blocks and then brad nailing it to hold it all in place while the glue dries. After everything is assembled, here's what the bottom looks like. In an effort to continue to keep things simple, I just looked for a round object that's a little bit bigger than my son to use as a template to make the cutout. I'm starting with the front half of this cutout, and then I'm going to come back and cut the rear after I trace the profile of the wagon. You'll see that in just a second. I want the back to follow the backrest so it's comfortable. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to trace the backrest on the bottom. There we go, got a nice profile. And then I will trim the back. Time for some quick sanding to soften these edges and prep for some finish work. And before I get too far with the finish work, it's time for a test fit. Ooh. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, oh, Daddy's got to finish it before you beat it up. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
All right, so the next step is going to be applying a coat of polyurethane to the plywood here. This looks particularly porous to me, so my concern is if I don't, when I go to paint it, that's gonna bleed all over the place, and I won't have as crisp lines as I'm looking for. And it's gonna offer it some kind of basic protection if it's drizzling or raining, or it just won't stain if he's got sticky chocolate fingers or something like that. So that's why we're gonna use some polyurethane. Alright, it is now time to work on the metal snap trap portion of the mousetrap costume. It's made up of 1/2-inch PVC and 4 elbows, and what I'm doing is sizing it so it sits just inside the width, and it is making up 1/2 of the mousetrap. After a quick dry fit, I'm just going to glue the whole thing together. So next I'm drilling a small hole in one of the sides, and that's going to do two things for me. It's going to give me a way to hang this while I paint it, and it's going to give me a way to secure a fake spring to the side of the little mousetrap there. So let's get the hole drilled. All right, it is very dark outside because it is 10:45. So you're gonna have to take my word for it that I am painting this. A Rust-Oleum metallic looking bronze paint, because I already had it, and it should look somewhat similar to the copper mousetrap. So one coat down, and I'm glad I started early because this is gonna take a couple coats. I'll definitely have to do another one tomorrow. For the little U-shaped hooks on the mousetrap, I am using 1/2-inch PVC pipe clamps, and I have just taped them to a piece of cardboard so I can go paint them. Pretty straightforward. All right, and the first coat of coverage on these was significantly better than the white PVC pipe, but that's okay. A couple of coats are probably in order, so I can do another one tomorrow night. For the detail work on the surface of the mousetrap, I am starting with the black border. Since I've got a lot of 1-inch wide blue masking tape, I am using that as my reference pretty much everywhere on this project. Black stripe is going to be 1 inch from the edge and it is going to be 1 inch wide, keeping the whole layout nice and easy. All right. It's time to peel that tape. It's time to let this dry overnight. I can mask out the V, do some letters, and then hopefully move on to some assembly tomorrow night. This feels a little bit like cheating, but there was no way I was going to hand paint these letters and get them to look nice, so decals it is. All right, fortunately these came up pretty easily because I ended up tweaking them just a little bit. I wasn't super thrilled with the spacing in the middle, but I think we're good now. For masking out the V, it's just a bunch more painter's tape and eyeballing the proportions to try and make it look appropriate. Paint is just some off-the-shelf stuff I found at Hobby Lobby, and I was really happy with how easy it went on. Perfect, now I just have to do the eyes and I should be in pretty good shape. All right, so we're going to try and freehand the eyes. All right, we need a little 16th drill bit. This old computer cable will make an excellent fake spring looking wire. It's got some real substance to it, and I'm going to be able to attach it, which is good. If we can just sharpie up the ends a little bit, so get some insulation and sheathing showing there. That masks that pretty well. So the hole I hung this part from to paint it is now coming into its second use. I can slide a zip tie in there and hold the fake spring in place. Since this 1/4 inch plywood doesn't have a whole lot of substance to it, I am hand driving them so I don't strip them out right away. With both sides screwed in place, I am drilling 2 small holes so I can zip tie the other end of my fake spring in place down to the plywood sheet. And then I can feed a zip tie through the back to keep the whole thing looking pretty discreet. The model and the result. Lulu. Oh, come back with my cheese. Lulu.
Lulu, come here.
Lulu, come.
Come here.
Leave it. Thank you.
Dogs keep stealing the cheese. Jackson! I got
Yay.
Jackson.
Oh, all right, puppies, beep, beep. Back up. Yay.
Thank you.
Good job, Jackson.
I love it.
No, leave it. All right, come on out. So this mousetrap costume was a lot of fun to make, and if you're gonna make something similar, I hope you found this video helpful. So stick around for more DIY projects, and I'll see you in the next one.